Welcome back for a new top 10 list. This time we are checking out another top 10 magic cards of a specific set, but this is going to be the first Universes Beyond. With that said, I have two honorable mentions. Today we're checking out Universes Beyond Assassin's Creed. So I chose music for the French world of Hunchback of Notre Dame. So with that said, first honorable mention is a nice little uncommon that costs one white, one red, is a 2/2. Equipment spells you cast costs one less to cast. Equip abilities you activate cost one less to activate, and that is where this card excels. Is for the fact that it definitely can prove to be a very useful side card to use if you plan on using a lot of equip cards, like artifacts. Then this is a card that will definitely come in handy in the fact it only costs 2 mana to bring out, and at least it's also a 2/2. I think it's more than worth it. Not quite one of the best cards, which is why it just gets an honorable mention. The other one is also another card that costs 1 red, 1 white, and is a 2/2. Legendary creature, and also an uncommon. Whenever basically this card or another non-token historic permanent enters the battlefield under your control, this card deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. Artifacts, legendaries, and saga are historic. So yeah, definitely this can be quite useful and annoy your opponent. Another, I think, pretty decent uncommon, coming at number 10, is a blue card for you blue card enthusiast. And it's a common, so you can use this in a pauper deck. Sorcery costs 2 to use. Tap target creature an opponent controls and put 3 stun counters on it. If a permanent with a stun counter would become untapped, remove one of them from it instead. So that means basically you can then basically paralyze a specific card your opponent has for up to 3 turns. That is quite nice, especially if you use it against a very powerful creature. This can definitely come useful and quite a nice little period. Next up, coming at number 9. Special artifact costs 2 to bring out. It's also an uncommon. Some of legit the best cards in Assassin's Creed I feel are uncommons. Equip creature has ward. Pay 2 is an assassin in addition to its other types and can't be blocked. One of the nice things about this artifact is, yeah, it makes your creature unblockable. Also, equip legendary creature costs 1. Also, regular equip costs 3. But it's more than worth it, in my opinion. Especially use this on a reasonably powerful, or say you use this on maybe a card that has infect that can really annoy and hurt your opponent. Basically, it works a lot like Shroud. Coming in at number 8. A pretty cool card, I think. Breaker of Chains, of course, from Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flags. Costs total 3 to bring out, 1 anti-color, 1 blue, 1 black. Legendary, it's a 4/1. When this card enters the battlefield, reveal the top 6 cards of your library. Put an assassin, pirate, or vehicle card from among them into your hand and rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Also, whenever a vehicle you control deals combat damage to a player, you may return this card from the graveyard to your hand. Quite a nice little card, and also an uncommon, by the way. Now we come to number 7, and our first rare. Costs 2 to bring out, and that is a enchantment called Rest in Peace. When Rest in Peace enters the battlefield, exile all graveyards. That is quite useful in certain circumstances to make sure your opponent can't use. Also, if a card or a token would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. So yeah, Rest in Peace would be very useful depending on your playstyle. I could say this card could do some serious damage in Commander, that's for sure. But I think it might be more useful in a format like Modern. Coming in next, at number 6, is a legit really cool legendary artifact. It's rare, costs 3 to bring out, of course Staff of Hermes, which is pretty cool. Equipped creature has lifelink. As long as you have 30 or more life, equipped creature gets +5/+5 and has indestructible, and prevent all damage that would be dealt to this creature. Equip costs 2 white. So yeah, this card can do some serious damage depending on, as long as you use like a life gain deck. I could see this card being very good in an angel deck of specific types. Depends on your playstyle though, but this card could be very useful in different types of white decks. Coming in at number 5 is a pretty cool card I could see used in specific types of red decks. Also, uncommon. And it's a Minotaur creature. Costs 4 to bring out. It's a 4/3. Has trample. Whenever you attack, you may pay an additional 2. When you do, target creature can't block this turn. So that's a nice little ability for 2 additional mana. Definitely could do some serious damage, and the fact it has trample really helps. Coming in at number 4. Yeah, the only one in a regular thick case. Of course, Ezio. Mythic. Legendary creature, costs 2 to bring out. Has menace. Assassin spells you cast have free running for 2 black. Also, whenever Ezio deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 1 of all 5 colors if that player has 10 or less life. When you do, that player loses the game. Definitely a hard ability though to use, especially since it requires, unless you have multiple different types of dual lands. Then it might be possible to use Ezio's ability, but this is a card that definitely could be very useful. Coming in at number 3. Another great legendary artifact. Staff of Eden, Volt's Key. Costs 6 to bring out, Mythic. When Staff of Eden enters the battlefield, put target legendary permanent card not named Staff of Eden from the graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Also, you can tap, draw a card for each permanent you control, but don't own. Definitely quite useful. This could be definitely a artifact that really annoys the crap out of some people. That's for sure. Coming in at number 2. Another pretty awesome card. Also Mythic. Costs a total of 6 mana, 3 anything, 1 red, 1 green, 1 white. Legendary it's a 7/6. It has also trample and haste. Whenever this card deals combat damage to a player, you mill that many cards. You may put a saga card or a lane card from among them onto the battlefield. So, needless to say, yeah, definitely be very much a monster to fight against this card. With its ability, also can do some serious damage on top of the 7 attack it has. This is definitely a card I would say I could definitely trounce and do some serious damage to people. But number 1 is number 1. One of the coolest artifacts in a long time, in my opinion. Just a regular rare. And that is the Animus. Costs 2 to bring out. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 target legendary creature card from a graveyard with a memory counter on it. Tap until your next turn. Target legendary creature you control becomes a copy of a target creature card in exile with a memory counter on it. Activate only as a sorcery. But the fact it only costs 2 to bring out, and given its ability, you could really, especially I would say in formats like Commander, you could definitely prove to be very annoying with this card. The Animus is legit a really cool card and has an interesting ability. With that said, leave a comment below and tell me your thoughts. But with that said, I'll see you all next time. Stay safe out there. Also, I look forward in the future to doing one of these videos for Final Fantasy Universe Beyond. With that said, I'll see you soon.